Allow yourself to acclimate to this space. Tell me what you see, what you sense, where you
I,
are.
I see children. I see children on the playground.
Tell me about those children.
They're running and playing,
Yes.
laughing, and they have no care. They're doing what children should do.
And how does it make you feel to see these children playing?
So peace that I don't have to worry about that they will grow up in a beautiful world and no one, no one is being children.
Tell me a little bit more about that beautiful world that these children get to grow up in. What does that look like?
It's perfect. No want, no hunger, no struggles, no ridiculous school studies, no no dysfunctional families. Everybody's happy and just living their lives and enjoying their lives. It's the perfect world.
What is your role, if any, with these children? Do you have any involvement with these children?
Just to observe and send them send them love and caring energy, and hopefully raising their frequencies. I help them, show them how to raise their frequencies, keep their frequency high, and focus on what's important. Showing them service to others is above everything else.
Very good. And so tell me how it is or how you see that we get to this time where these children will be able to exist like this. How do we get there?
For the collective consciousness to be aware and resist everything that has been happening, is standing up for the children and resist it, like putting on our shield of armor and standing up against all of this evil and tyranny for the children, risking everything for the children. It takes an awareness and a collective. We're not quite there yet, but we're getting there.
So, why is it that the children are so targeted?
They're so full of light. They want to steal their light. They want to diminish their light, to put it out.
And what happens when they diminish the light of a child? What happens to them?
What happens to the children or to the ones who
Yes,
diminish?
to the children. What happens to them? What do they experience?
They experience the earth we have now with struggle and confusion and hate and fear and lack. That's what they want these children to feel.
And so, how is it that we can begin to shift the energies and move more to that place where these children aren't being controlled in this way? What do we as a collective need to work on? What's most important?
The only thing we can do is keep our own frequency high and just send love energy to everyone and just focus on our own frequency and let Source take care of everything else. All we can do is focus on our own frequency. When we raise our frequency, it helps raise the frequency of others. And unfortunately, there's such a low frequency among so many. It's going to take a lot to raise the frequency of the collective, but it will come.
And so those are doing the work and are aware of how important their frequency is. What are some of the most important things they can do to keep that frequency high?
Stay in the moment. Stay in the moment. Don't focus on the past. Envision a beautiful future manifested as if it's already here. Stay in nature. Let nature help heal.
And in the last session that we had, we talked about the trees and how powerful the trees are and Sharon's beautiful connection with those trees. What else can you share with us about the power of the trees, the power of nature, and how that helps us?
They are healers. They are the great healers. They are here to raise our frequency and help heal the earth. We should learn from the trees. They're grounded, yet they're connected to source more so than anything else on earth. The trees in the mountain have a great connection to source. They should be our greatest teacher. They stay in the moment and they stay grounded.
Beautiful. And so, as we were coming in this session, we were not able to go through the door to a past life, but instead moving into a present or future life. Tell us why it's important not to look at the past, but to stay focused on the present.
You just perpetuate the past. Perpetuating the past serves no purpose. Those memories serve no purpose. The important thing is to manifest the future by focusing, by believing it's already here. That's the important thing, is how we move forward by manifesting it as if it's already here, not wanting or wishing, but knowing it's already here.
And so, would you say that we are creating the future through our thoughts and feelings and emotions? Or would you say that the future Earth that we want to live on already exists? We're simply shifting over to that experience. How does that work?
No, we have to create it with our thoughts. It's waiting for us. And it's our thought, our consciousness that will make it a reality. It's waiting. It's just not a reality unless we create it. We are creators. We are creators of our reality. It's
So
right there waiting.
beautiful. So these children us a little bit more about what this future life that we're moving into, that we're creating at this time. Tell us more about what that looks like. What does our future hold?
Um, Oh, there are opportunities to create a new earth with clean water and clean food and no want, no poverty, no hunger. The jobs of today will be long gone. There will be new opportunities for service to others, helping everybody have abundance, no want, no illness, no hunger. They will be very busy creating a new earth. The jobs will be limitless for them to do. They won't worry about money. Money won't matter. Everybody will be their brother's brother.
It seems impossible almost to think of how we could get from where we are now to that place. How do you see that unfolding?
How do I see that unfolding?
Yeah, how do we get from where we are now, which is very dependent upon money and resources and things like that, over to that place where we just have the abundance that we need?
We have to raise our frequency. And there has to be an awareness. And there's some who will never be aware. And those will eventually be in the minority. And they may choose to go to another place. But it takes such an awareness, which is being blocked by so much distraction in the world. It will take all the light workers and angels and light beings to help get us there. We've been so dumbed down. Some some won't ever become aware, but we will get there. There will be enough to rise up and get us there. As soon as all the evil has left the planet and people realize, they'll get the wake up call that all this has been intentional, and they either wake up or they just live in their misery. That the children will break through, the children's lights will shine. They'll be the children that take us to a new earth. It won't be possible. It won't be possible without them. That's why they're so precious. And we have to care for them and protect them now so they can create this new earth.
Beautiful. Very good. Tell us a little bit more about the darkness leaving the planet. How does that happen? How do you see that playing out?
I think at a point, all I'm getting is their time is up. Their
Yes.
time is up. That's what I'm getting.
Yeah. And as we, as light workers, raise our frequencies, we do the healing work. Is our light helping to push the darkness out?
The light workers, when they raise their frequency, it raises others' frequency and it has like a domino effect. to those who still have some light in them. So it helps others grow their light.
And it seems like there are so many right now that are in fear and are in that low frequency. How is it that those that are not awake and aware, how is it that they're going to be able to shift? Is there anything to assist them, or how will that work? How will that play out?
Some just won't. Some will not accept what's happened to them, that they've been tricked, brainwashed, mind controlled. They won't accept it. Their ego won't accept it. And this earth probably won't be a place they remain. I think it just takes care of itself. The frequency, the low frequency and the high frequency changes. The light will collect the light. The light will collect the light on this planet and carry it forward. And the ones who can't grow their life will be in a place where they can grow their light in the way and the timing that works for them. It's their free will. And the ego. The ego is not a friend to free will.
Tell us more about ego and free will. What do we need to understand about that?
Free will is a double-edged sword. And ego, it's its worst enemy. Ego is not being in the heart space. It's being in the mind space. And the mind space is a dangerous place to be. We cannot grow our light if we stay in the mind space. And that's what this planet has been, in the mind space, not the heart space.
How can we learn to get out of the mind and drop down into the heart more often? How do we learn to rewire ourselves, stay in the heart?
Yeah. As Joshua said, go within. Stay in the present. Stay in the now. Go within. That's all it takes. Go within. Service to others. Service to self serves the ego.
Very good. And so, as we move forward into this new earth that we're currently creating, what will people experience? Will this be a slow and gradual shift, or will it come more quickly? What do you see?
I see people optimistic, manifesting, but it will take time to rebuild all the infrastructure, to clean up the water, the environment. New technologies will take a while, vortexing the water. So the water to our homes is like spring water. I think all this stuff is being worked on in the background somewhat, but the dark has kept it from moving forward, and it's out there. It's just going to take these young souls to help create it. And it's been so many lifetimes of destruction to Mother Gaia that it will take some time to get it to the perfection that she deserves. So not as fast as we would like, but it will be exciting to help create it and see the changes. Just the anticipation of what's to come will keep everyone lifted.
And will most people have an awareness or an understanding of their role in helping to recreate those infrastructures? Will we just know what we're supposed to do?
Oh, yes. We will be called. And by that time, the those that have not been able to raise their frequency and move into their heart space will probably not be with us. And some may even choose to leave this life and go somewhere else. Some are tired. They've been through so many lifetimes here and they want to experience something else. So they may choose with their light to have another experience, but some will stay because the excitement and the anticipation of creating a new earth will draw them to being here.
Beautiful. And so, as you mentioned earlier, there are going to be things that are going to come to the surface for people to be aware of, things where they've been manipulated and lied to by the dark. How do you see that playing out? Is that going to come bubbling up to the surface all at once? Is it going to be gradual? What will we see?
It will be gradual, but there'll be like a chain reaction when they discover one thing, they will start to see patterns that will be undeniable. That's what these conspiracy theorists are able to do. They're able to see patterns. So as the sleepers finally awake or start to awaken, they will see patterns and little light bulbs will go out when they see the connection of it. Probably will start with big pharma
Hmm.
and their jabs, and the real wake up is what's been done to the children who were subjected. That will be the first. That will start the chain reaction of, if that much evil, how was it allowed? And then they will slowly make the connections, and then the connections will become faster and more apparent. And there will be a lot of grief, a lot of remorse and anger. And they will need help getting through that. And a lot of them won't be able to get through it. But
And
they chose that experience. That was an experience they chose for whatever reason.
what would you say is the best way to help a person that might be experiencing that grief? How can we help them get through it?
I think what will happen is there will be light bodies and light workers who raise up, and that will be their mission, because it will take special people to help through this. It will take special people to help them through this. All the neighbors and friends and family can do is just be there for them and not preach and not judge. It will take special people, whether it's angels, incarnated, ascended masters, incarnated, and all the light workers who have incarnated on this planet. That will be their role. And everybody else just needs to focus on keeping their frequency high and no judgment, no judgment. That's what everybody else needs to do, is send love and caring and no judgment.
We understand that a lot of the systems that we have in place now will need to break down in some way in order for us to be able to recreate these new systems. How do you see that playing out? What's that experience going to be like for us?
I think the first thing is getting people's health back. You know, if people if people are ill, that keeps their vibration very low. So we have to heal the earth. Spiritually and emotionally will help them physically heal. And there will be new modalities that, when people find out about the evil of big pharma, people will be more open, and big pharma will not be able to suppress these modalities any longer, and they will be affordable. And the new modalities, they'll work with the light workers in healing the emotion, the spirit, and the emotional to heal the physical. It will be it will be a wonderful time when people see real healing take place. Real healing will take place. No more suffering. That will get people excited, and that will raise their frequency. Those who remain on this planet.
How do you see healing in the future? What does that look like? How do we heal our bodies and keep ourselves in these very healthy bodies? How do we create that?
An awareness, and there will be modalities that have been gifted to us. There will be modalities that the star seeds on this planet will be able to offer. And the healing of people should be more rapid than the healing of all the infrastructures of the earth, because that has to come first. People cannot regain their light if they're ill and suffering. So these star seeds and light workers, they will have these new modalities that will be cost effective or free. And people will see how bright the future is.
Beautiful. Is there anything else that you can share with us today about what we have to look forward to as we move through this shift?
Just we're going to create our reality. The collective consciousness is going to create our reality and push out, squeeze out all the dark. Our time is up. Your time is up. And the universe reflects back to them the energy that they put out. There's no karma, but the universe reflects back. It reflects back to them what they put out. What you reap is what you sow is what you reap. The universe takes care of it. But they will be out of our minds, out of our thoughts.
Very good. What can you tell us about when we move from one life into the next life and we meet with our team, our guides, our counsels? Are we really meeting with our guides and our counsels, or is it possible that there's any trickery happening in that life between life space? What can you share?
With God, there is no judgment. There is no judgment. That judgment was put on us. That karma was put in our DNA. Source has no judgment. There does not need to be people outside of yourself giving you advice or helping you determine your next experience. The God within will know. The God within knows what it chooses to experience. With all its ups and downs, it chooses what it experiences. It does not try to correct. It does not try to correct past faults or false past traumas or faults. That is not God's way. There's been interference. There's been interference making us think that we have to pay for our past indiscretions. And it just becomes over and over and over. Hard life after hard life, returning to the next life, not knowing what's going to happen. It's just been all a big scam. It's been all a big scam.
And so, how do you see that changing moving forward? What will we experience as we raise our vibration and we move away from the darkness?
We make our choices. based on what we want to experience. We leave the past behind because there's no judgment from God. He doesn't, Source doesn't expect redos. There's no judgment. Source does not need to learn. Source wants to experience, observe, and we will be able to choose our experience going to either our home base you will have many, many opportunities. And when we leave our bodies, our soul, without interference, without trickery, will know. It will just soar and know what it chooses to experience next. It will not always be roses, but it will not be as we have experienced on earth. There will be hit and misses. But when we keep our frequency high and the light within us, experiences will be more than we can ever imagine now.
Beautiful. And so, before we come into an incarnation, is it Source's plan for us to experience and learn certain lessons? Or do we just come into a life and have those experiences which help us to learn and grow?
We are Source, and Source needs no lessons. The reason we are here is because Source wanted to experience all that could be experienced and take back the good and the bad as an experience. Observe, no judgment, just experience all that we have created. We are here to create. We are creator gods. We are here to create opportunities to experience. That's all. Create opportunities that we choose to experience. No judgment, no right, no wrong. There is duality. There is duality. And some duality is out of control. Some duality just exploded. But Source sees no right or wrong.
How is it that that duality exploded? What happened?
Ego, self-service took over. This was a light planet, and duality is expected. Everywhere in the multiverse, duality is expected. On this planet, the ego mind and self service versus self service to others took over in the minds of many. And that duality just grew and grew and grew under control. That was not God's plan. But there's no interference from Source. And we allowed that duality to take over. And it became so big, it became almost impossible to stop by those that still had their light. We have
What hap-
learned a lesson about duality. Duality is part of the experience, but there's duality that has just gone too far.
yes. What is it that happened to get us stuck in these karmic loops and sort of re experiencing things or working things out in each lifetime? What is it that created that process?
Alien technology and our DNA. Our DNA holds the genetics that create the karma that continues after generation after generation. It was not Source's will, it was alien interference. And it's our DNA that holds that karma, the DNA that was manipulated. And has made it so hard for us to have our light. It has dimmed our light. But there are light beings that are helping, that are helping with this DNA manipulation so we can grow our light. That's the focus, is to grow our light.
What do you see happening with the DNA? Is it being reconfigured at this time? Is it being activated? Is it being cleared out? How are the beings that are helping us? What are they doing?
Hmm. I don't think it's I don't think it's something needed. It was never intended in our light bodies. So I don't know how it works, but somehow all that the DNA holds, all the negative the DNA holds, is letting go. If you keep your frequency high, for those that are keeping their frequency high, they're accepting of this changes to the DNA. And that's why Joshua was the light being, that he did not have these DNA hindrances. He did not come to Earth with these DNA hindrances. And all the other ascended masters. Not sure how they were able to escape that manipulation. But they had no DNA holding them back with karma and genetic interferences. And we will get there as a collective. And correcting the DNA will help us grow our light.
Is that how Yeshua was able to tap into his abilities and do the healing work that he did? Does that have anything to do with the DNA?
Yes, he was full of light. He was full of light, no hindrances, nothing holding him back. It was a huge part. He was, of course, a light being, pure of light, but no DNA hindrances.
Very good. So we've been told that we live in a matrix and Do the souls of loved ones who have crossed over, are they trapped in a matrix or have they moved on to where they're supposed to go? What can you share with us about that?
The matrix is being dismantled. It's being dismantled. I don't know how long it will take, but it is being dismantled. So this reincarnation nightmare will be ending. I don't have a time frame, but it will be ending.
Very good. She wants to know if there was a cutting and pasting of time when she was younger. What can you share with her about that?
I'm not getting anything. No, I'm not getting anything.
Let's ask if, now I know we asked these questions in the last session, and I know the higher guidance didn't want to share too much, and we understand the reason behind that. But is there anything else that they can share about the secret space program? Anything that we should be aware of?
It destroyed lives. It diminished the light. It kept the light down in beings that came in that were full of light. It suppressed the light. That was one of the main reasons, is those full of light had to be stopped.
Are you able to verify or validate for her if she participated in that program?
I'm not getting anything.
Okay.
I'm not getting anything other than the past, just the past.
Past is the past.
There's no healing going to the past. Just
Okay.
focus on the bright future.
And so, will programs like this, are they being dismantled along with all of these other things that we've been talking about?
Oh,
Or will
yeah.
they be?
Oh, yeah.
What can you tell us about that?
Aerospace programs. It will be an ongoing struggle. But the children will no longer be abducted. The children, we will know. We will know to protect the children from these outside forces. But there will be always battle with the outside forces. But the children abductions will not happen.
Are you able to tell us what it is about a child that they select them for abduction? What are the criteria that they look for in a child?
Those that are of high light that would help raise the frequency of Earth. The children that have knowing, the children that have an awareness. They know when children that have an awareness come in and they have to be stopped. That awareness is their enemy, the outside dark forces enemy. These children with awareness are their enemy. It's not always light beings. It's just children with an awareness. That are dangerous to them.
Very good. Anything else important for Sharon to know today? Anything else that you'd like to share with her?
The children are protected. The children on earth will be protected no longer. No longer will the dark. No longer will the dark have their claws in these children. They will be safe. There will be many forces protecting the children against the outside dark forces. We will never let it happen again.
Tell us a little bit, if you can, about how that protection will look, because I know many humans don't feel like they're very powerful, even though we know that they are. How will that protection increase? Will we have other beings that are here with us assisting, or will we step into our power? How does that look?
It will be an awareness. Everybody will be aware of what had happened to these children. They will be aware. There will be awareness that will keep it from ever happening. Awareness, so children aren't abducted. That's been the big problem, is there's not been an awareness. People are just caught up in their own world, not aware and trusting. And putting on a pedestal people that they shouldn't trust. That will all go away. When that goes away and there's an awareness, that will take care of it.
Very
That's why this
good.
had to happen. That's why this had to happen. Is there had to be something so horrible that no one will forget. No,
And when you say that's why this had to happen, what are you referring to specifically?
the children,
What's happening to them with the jab, or what's happening to them
the
in other
abduction,
places? The abductions. Okay.
abduction,
Yes.
and the jabs, but mainly the abductions.
Will the abductions, will that come into more people's awareness? Are they going to see that?
Oh yes, oh yes. It is the biggest thing that will waken them up. The big pharma will be a big hit, but when it comes to the children, people will fall to their knees. People will fall to their knees. There will be no bigger wake up. And we will all know, everybody will know. It will be impossible to deny. It may take some time because that's going to be the biggest hit to the sleepers to understand how dark the dark was.
Very good. Thank you for all of that information. She's been working with someone, and she's wanting to know if this doctor that she's been working with has successfully removed the energetic parasites that were attached to her. What can you tell her about that?
I'm getting the word many.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting the word many. From
Very
past
good.
lives, many.
Could you do a scan of the body and see if there's any additional that are attached to her?
Getting any. I'm getting the word clear.
Wonderful. Wonderful. And she feels like there's a thread that may be running through multiple lifetimes around guilt. What can you tell her about that?
Yes. It was
And
just one hit after another. When's it going to be over? When will this constant repeat be over? Much longer do I have to be punished for this? Does the karma ever end? It just continued from one lifetime to another, and there seemed to be no escape. I tried to live a good life, but that karma just kept kicking in. It was not karma from God. God did not intend the suffering, judgment, the guilt. That is not a God thing.
she feels like she's been repeating this theme of not being able to protect others in different lifetimes and even a little bit in this lifetime. What does she need to understand about that?
It's in the past. She's a good person who wants to serve others, and she would do anything to protect those that depend on others. Some things are out of her control. She knows now. And she knows some things were manipulated by dark forces. And it's in the past. Let's just focus on a bright future and bury the past. But unfortunately, she was not able to bury the past. And it just continued to reinvent itself, to perpetuate the past. Lifetime after lifetime, she was perpetuating the past, unknowingly perpetuating the past with interference from dark energies, these parasitic energies that had a hold of her. And no more, no more.
So now that she is doing all of the healing work, she's clearing out all of these energies and she's raising her frequency and vibration. Is there any other emotions or anything that she's still carrying that she needs to be aware of that needs to be released so she can move forward?
Only the guilt. The guilt was very strong. And she's releasing that guilt. She knows it was the dark side, those parasitic energies that kept that guilt, kept her holding on to that guilt. It's gone. It's gone.
Wonderful. She's wondering about her parasympathetic imbalance. What is the root cause of that?
I'm getting past lives. Past lives trauma.
Mm-hmm.
Past lives trauma.
What do we need to do to get that back in balance for her today?
A clearing, a light clearing, a source, light clearing from source.
Beautiful. I'm going to save that. We'll finish our questions and then we'll do a nice clearing at the end. Very good. Thank you for that. She was wondering about a person that she was following who said he was a light being who permanently resides with Source and chose to incarnate on Earth to assist with this transition, but he may have been taken over by the dark side. Can you tell her a little bit about what happened or what she needs to know about that?
These entities full of light, who came to this planet, who volunteered at great risk to come to this planet to help bring in a new earth and to help wake people up, shine their light, share truth. They were the ones coming to share all the truth that people would listen to. And they were stopped by these dark energies. They were targeted even before they came into this earth. They were targeted. Some abducted, some implanted. So overlays, angels reincarnating or incarnating on this earth were targeted so they could not shine their light, so they could not bring the truth. Many of them, rescue angels came and they were targeted. So many had to return because they could not defeat the dark. They could not. Some were trusting. Some were very trusting. So the dark was like the dark snuck up on them. And we lost many incarnated angels, light beings that were either taken over or had to return to source. It happened. It happened a lot. It happened to him. It happened to him. He was bringing truth. He was bringing the truth that Joshua tried to bring. He was trying to bring the truth. And they knew they had to stop him. He was too dangerous. He was a primary target.
What can someone do who is putting out truth and trying to do this work? What can someone do to keep themselves from getting implanted or taken over by the dark?
Getting shielded. But I'm getting some are so much a target. They are beat down and attacked constantly, constantly attacked. That they are so beat down. They are so beat down that sometimes their resistance just wears down and they're beat down to where they can't They can't fight any longer. And some of them don't realize they've been taken over. And a small part of them is taken over. And they don't know it. But then once the dark takes hold, it just grows and grows and grows till it dims the light. And there's just such a small amount of light flickering. And the dark is then in control. It's so sad. They return to source for healing. They return to source to heal.
And if a
But it's
person,
coming to an end. It's coming to an end. Their time
yeah,
is up.
if someone feels like they're being infiltrated or attacked, what is the best thing that they can do to stop that, or what do they need to know?
Just be on guard 24/7. Never let your guard down. Be on guard 24/7. But it's the light beings, the ones so full of light, like Jeshua, that they are just going to be relentless until they win. Most of the light workers, they know to protect themselves. Channeling is very dangerous. Channeling anything outside of yourself is outside of yourself. That's always a danger. Just go within. Just go within. No channeling needed. Just go within. You're playing with fire when you channel. No matter how much you protect yourself, there's always a chance. So go within your higher self, your higher self, source. Why do you need, why do you need anything outside coming in? You've got source within.
Beautiful. Very good. Thank you for that information. Are there any final messages today? Anything else that you'd like to share with Sharon before I bring her back?
All will be okay. There's there's brightness ahead. Only brightness ahead. Be patient. It's coming. Their time is up. That's all.
Very good. I would just like to thank all of the beautiful beings that were assisting us in this session today. We are so grateful for your love and your assistance.